main man, Big Business. And today we got a special edition celebrating and honoring the 4th of July. Honoring and celebrating the 4th of July and its connection to the Statue of Liberty. A lot of people don't necessarily know the history and the background about how the Statue of Liberty actually got created and made. And what we're going to focus on is the concept of teamwork and what the Statue of Liberty actually means. A lot of people get stuck sometimes on the negative parts of history. Some people, of course, have difficulty because of how things started. Obviously, in 1776, the authors of the Declaration of Independence wrote a fabulous document that there were some groups in America that were not necessarily afforded those privileges, those unalienable rights, as they are so eloquently stated. But we also have to continue to follow the history. If we're following 250 years, we have to actually do the work and see the progress that has been made. The Statue of Liberty, I've actually been to the Statue of Liberty when they actually allowed you to go up in it and go up the spiral staircase and everything. Was a great trip. And just like the tie right here, it has a foundation. And some people don't know how much teamwork was needed between different groups of people, and I mean leaders of their day, to actually create this statue. So I'm going to go over some of the highlights so people are educated and understand what a monumental symbol of freedom that the Statue of Liberty truly is. So it was created in France, but it was something that took 9 years to create. 9 years. So we're talking about 1875 to 1884. That's how long it took for the abolitionist Edward Rene Laboulaye to come up with this. A lot of people worked together to create it, and then it had to be constructed, had to be deconstructed and constructed back over in the United States. So this took, obviously, if it took 9 years to actually create this, had to be deconstructed, shipped, and then a foundation had to be built. Well, there's certain people who, I'm sure you're familiar with the Pulitzer Prize. Well, obviously, that's something that you get for newspapers and awards. Pulitzer actually helped raise money to create the foundation for the Statue of Liberty. Okay, so we're talking about $100,000 was raised, a dollar at a time, from the viewers and the subscribers of the newspaper. So, of course, working together is how that foundation got built. And this is, all Americans at this time. And again, time frame is 1884. So this is after slavery has been abolished, but I know people focus on Juneteenth, but understand around, if you do your research around this time, this is a time where people are really trying to bring the nation back together because we know Civil War, 1861 to 1865. So we're still in that rebuilding stage, and the United States had allies. The United States had allies because the country was in shambles. So here we have our ally France, who has really seen what's happened. America's rocky start almost tore the fabric completely apart for the American dream. We have to understand that, 1776, then you think about 1861 to 1865, this is still a generation or two separate from our Declaration of Independence from Britain, and then we have these challenges that we had to face, and people died. People got killed. You had people who were fighting for the Confederates. You had people who were fighting for the Union. Honest truth be told, black on both sides, white on both sides, and the Union won. So we can't forget that freedom is not free. Whenever you're fighting for something that's noble or just or right, you're going to have somebody, some spirit, some entity that's going to challenge the legitimacy of the claim or the ideal. And we have to make sure that we're not infected by the negativity, and we still fight forward as a nation, fight forward as people. And this alliance between France and the United States is demonstrated in the construction of the Statue of Liberty. So, yes, you had people who were fighting for freedom, fighting for equal rights, all of these different things. But today we celebrate what the Statue of Liberty actually symbolizes. So again, what liberty is free from restraint or slavery. And ladies and gentlemen, we have to be honest. We know the world history. We know what happened to the Indians. We know what happened to people like the Jews. There's groups of people who've had to overcome tremendous hardship and adversity in order to obtain a better future. That's just what it is. So we have to make sure we're trying to focus on understanding the history so the history doesn't repeat itself, and continue to strive forward in a positive direction. So again, the Statue of Liberty was to commemorate our alliance with France and the abolition of slavery. At the base of the feet, many people don't know that. I've been there. They do have broken chains. So it does actually have broken chains to actually say, hey, slavery was wrong. We're trying to move forward. But let's go back to that construction. 31 tons of copper was used, and we're talking about 350 metal workers were actually utilized in making the Statue of Liberty. Now, the internal spine, because it was designed originally with woodworkers, and then the copper was hammered on and designed by all of these people who are working, but it had to be attached to an internal spine. Did you know that Gustav Eiffel, yes, the same person who created the Eiffel Tower, was involved in creating that internal spine to actually support, and it, of course, America provided the base, but to support the Statue of Liberty, so it's on the water, so it actually would sway a little bit, sway with me, when the wind, heavy winds blew. So it was constructed to where, I don't know if many of you know penny copper. They used to make pennies that were copper. So we have this lightweight metal.
Copper's not
Of course, it had to
lightweight.
be restored, and improvements had to be made over time to make sure it was standing and not sinking or blowing away. And it still stands strong today. Certain parts you can't go into anymore. But I need you to understand that this is what we're celebrating. This is what we're celebrating. We're not just celebrating independence. We're celebrating working together, overcoming adversity, and that's what the Statue of Liberty actually stands for. So I hope everybody has a happy 4th of July. Focus on the positive, focus on how far we've come. You have to make sure you know the history. If you don't know the history, you're going to be doomed to repeat it. Let's move forward together. Happy 4th of July.